Alright guys, welcome back as always, and I hope you had a great day. So as I mentioned beforehand, I had a theory video planned regarding the possibilities of Kashin Koji being Jiraiya or related to him in some way. And of course, some of these theories will be batshit crazy, or they could be argued in some ways for it to make sense. Kryptonian Saiyan is joining me today, and we will try to apply logic together and reasoning to all of these theories, since some of them can actually be convincing and work in the writing of the show if they wanted to make it work.
What? What? No, I'm here.
Also, Anime Balls Deep asked you guys in the community tab for your thoughts and theories regarding Kashin Koji, and we'll feature the best ones at the end of the video and discuss them, so be sure to stick around for that discussion. However, before we get any further, it's best that we lay out the groundwork so we're all on the same page. So let's take a look at the similarities and possible connections between Kashin Koji and Jiraiya. Kashin Koji has markings on his eye that resembles Jiraiya's face paint, but it could also be the number tattoo that each of the members of the Kara organization have. Also, Koji strongly considers Konoha to be his destiny and says that his fate is connected to the village, which also mirrors Jiraiya's character, who continually sought out destiny and prophecy, as shown when each time he had a student, he either believed that Naruto or Minato or Nagato was the child of prophecy. Kashin Koji also uses toad-related jutsu, and that could be a connection to Mount Myoboku. Kashin Koji also knows the Rasengan to the point of mastery. Koji also knows that Mitsuki is the son of Orochimaru, and he appears to have knowledge about the Sarutobi clan. Kashin Koji also at times has referred to Boruto Uzumaki with familiarity and affection, which is in character when you consider the fact that Boruto would be Jiraiya's great-grandson symbolically. It should be worth noting that he could also be a former student of Jiraiya, and there are a few reasons for this. There was a Toad Scroll before Jiraiya, and there could be one after Naruto. It just makes sense. Kashin Koji's Toad is larger than usual, it's old, and it looks old just like Kashin Koji. The body has clearly been rebuilt, and it doesn't resemble any of the toads that we've seen before in the Naruto franchise, so it could be an outcast. He also uses fire style without seals, and the flame cannot be put out. Given Koji is still relatively new, it's not enough to say for certain that he's Jiraiya's failed student, but it's not impossible to think that Jiraiya had a student before Naruto and Minato.
On top of all of these similarities me and Kryptonian Saiyan have found between the two characters, another thing I'd like to mention is in regards to when Naruto ended in 2015. Kishimoto admitted during Comic-Con, for example, that if he ever came back or wanted to do a spin-off story for a character, Jiraiya would be that one character he would do it for. He mentions how Jiraiya grew up in a time when the jutsu that we know now in the current Naruto worldview have not been refined or even developed in some cases, so he thinks it would be a fun way to show that gap. Now, from this concept, as a writer, you can easily flip this idea to conceptualize it in the setting of Boruto with the same implications and reasons. Boruto is set in the future with new jutsu and worldview being explored in the story throughout its development. I mean, just think about it for a moment guys. The concept of the vanishing Rasengan which Boruto uses was only created as an idea after 3 meetings, and it was a simple concept director Hiroyuki Yamashita of the Boruto movie, as he mentioned it to Kishimoto at a Jump Festa, and look what happened, it got implemented into the anime and approved. So it isn't really far-fetched from thinking that Okyu Kodachi, the writer of the manga, and many other directors or Ikimoto himself, proposing the idea of having a character linked and similar to Jiraiya within the new universe they are creating, and Kishimoto approving the idea since he wanted to do it himself in the first place.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Alright, so the first theory we have on the table is Kashin Koji is Jiraiya's secret love child.
I don't think I believe you.
It's true! Jiraiya is no liar!
This is a theory that a lot of you tend to agree upon in the community. I mean, it's the #1 upvoted comment, so to us it seems as though if this did happen, it wouldn't really be as surprising to us as it would be. It's more of an expectation we are all waiting to see, because after all the theory is pretty solid. We all know how Jiraiya was when it came to women. Although he never had luck with Tsunade after confessing his love for her many times, Jiraiya was still a stud that would sleep around with many women. I mean, what do you think he was doing for 55 years that he was alive? And where did he get the ideas and the material for his Makeout series book, guys? Come on now, you know what I'm saying? He was going balls deep!
いいのいいのやはりこの葉は粒揃いだのおいエロ仙人バカ
With this theory regarding Jiraiya's many years of travelling throughout the Naruto universe, which is confirmed in canon, by visiting countries and villages far and wide to learn their culture and problems as well as helping them out, it isn't that hard to assume during these times and even in his old age, he must have slept with many women or had girlfriends, which were not mentioned to us in the original Naruto series. I mean, think about it, it's not like we haven't caught Jiraiya with women before in the manga and anime multiple times, it's canon. Jiraiya is a very wise man when he is not being a troll or comic relief. Jiraiya clearly has layers, and when it comes to women, it's pretty obvious he knows what he's talking about. Just look at his heartwarming interaction with Tsunade before leaving. He clearly was in love and could have been that guy for someone else, as in a woman being in love with him and having a child he wasn't aware of. Kashin Koji being Jiraiya's love child could make sense, because it would explain why they both look so similar, since every defining trait of Koji is the epitome of Jiraiya in his art style. As well as the fact that Kashin Koji says himself that his fate seems to be truly linked with Konoha. This could mean Koji knows Jiraiya is his father. Koji also has the same abilities and nature type as Jiraiya, so his summoning toad, for example, it could be explained by the humongous universe of Mount Myoboku that we are not aware of. This toad can easily be explained to be an outcast member of the toads we already know, who all claim to have a strong honor and respect for Konoha. The boiler toad that Koji has could be the one that dwells in a different area that was not explored in the original anime series. Kashin could have formed a contract with these outcast toads that resemble the ones we have seen before.
You're nothing but a lousy little pervert!
I am not a little pervert!
Oh yeah? Then tell me, what are you?
I'm a big one.
Oh.
So the next theory is that Jiraiya survived Pain's attack but was brainwashed by Kara. The Boruto series hasn't been afraid of introducing the concept of having someone act out a character by having them placed under mind control. We've seen Katasuke be placed under a strong version of this when it came to manipulating Boruto during the Momoshiki arc, which led to him having a major redemption later on in the Boruto manga. It's very possible that Kashin Koji is Jiraiya, but he's placed under an advanced form of mind control. This would be Kodachi, the series writer, giving an homage to the Naruto manga, which displayed various levels of mind control in the manga. Itachi used Genjutsu on a helpless woman to distract Jiraiya. Danzo used Koto Matsukami during the 5 Kage summit, and Obito was revealed to have completely controlled a perfect Jinchuriki using Sharingan Genjutsu. So far in Boruto, we've already seen the mind control angle be played up once with Katasuke. It would explain why someone who willingly gave his life to provide intel about Pain is now seemingly acting against the best interests of Konoha. With the inclusion of the ninja tech into the series, this isn't too out of the question. We've seen the ninja tech make Kekkei Genkai Jutsu accessible to people from outside of the clan. What's to say that Kara hasn't found a way to make a weakened version of Koto Matsukami that makes a person act out in a way that they believe is according to their own free will, just like Shishui's Genjutsu?
I am shooketh.
So the next theory is pretty self-explanatory. We know cloning exists in the Naruto universe and is perfectly possible. Case in point is Mitsuki. Mitsuki is a clone made of organic technology by Orochimaru, and he has perfect sage mode as well as other amazing abilities that stem from his father. So it would make sense if we apply that logic to Koji with Jiraiya. Since Kashin Koji is from Kara and the leader of the Kara is supposedly Jigen, someone who clearly has inorganic technology we haven't seen before that can even turn Kawaki into a weaponized human being, for instance, at a cellular level. On top of that, Jigen has the ability of the Karma Seal. it's pretty clear that Jigen is capable of things that no other ninja we have seen thus far is able to do. One example could be is Jigen cloned Jiraiya by using his rewind time ability in the ocean and where Jiraiya died. So he rewinds time, brings Jiraiya back to the surface. He then used his cells and body to clone him into a servant for Kara that fulfills the goals Jigen desires. This would then explain why Kashin Koji believes he has strong ties with Konoha through his clouded memories similar to what Mitsuki suffers from and he doesn't know where he's from, as well as giving context to why his abilities and appearance are so similar to Jiraiya. This would kind of make a perfect anti-hero type character, where we the audience can see Kashin Koji suffer from these problems and a questionable moral compass where he realizes what he is and he has to decide where his fate lies. I mean, that would be an amazing concept. He can be kind of like an Itachi Uchiha type character within the organization of Kara.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
For the next theory, we'll have Jiraiya being Kashin Koji acting as a spy. Koji being a spy might hold some weight as a theory when you think about it, since Kashin Koji stated that he has strong ties to Konoha and referred to it as destiny calling him back to the village, which he's also in charge of keeping intel over for the Kara organization. Once again, this will be paying an homage to the original Naruto manga. In volume 16 of Naruto, Itachi debuted as a member of the Akatsuki and was shown hunting Naruto. However, he never killed Kakashi, which even Kakashi openly asked. He persuaded Kisame from pursuing action against Jiraiya, and even Kisame was baffled by the decision to flee instead of attempting to capture Naruto. Almost every time we saw Itachi, there were subtle signs that he wasn't truly evil, and his strong ties to Konoha were being played up. The Boruto story is sprinkled with small homages and it borrows small elements from the Naruto manga. We could see history repeating itself once again, having Kashin Koji play the Itachi role, protecting the village from the shadows, and then he could be revealed to actually be Jiraiya with the intention of showing that this is why he never truly capitalized on the opportunities against the Hidden Leaf village. He was toying with Konohamaru. At points, he was even smiling during the battle. It makes a lot of sense. Jiraiya would smile seeing the Rasengan, a jutsu that his student Minato created and one that he taught to the current Hokage, now being used by Konohamaru and Boruto. It would also explain why during the Kawaki battle that Kashin Koji told Delta not to attack the weakened Team 7, but instead he allowed them to live to fight another day.
Okay, so the fifth part of the video, we are going to look into the community comments. Let's see what you guys have to say. And now, given the fact that we are all just speculating here, there is obvious arguments to refute the things we are saying. For example, one thing you can argue is the fact that in Naruto and Sasuke's fight, Jiraiya's spirit appears to help him with the Rasengan, and this occurs again in Boruto against Momoshiki. So Boruto sees Jiraiya's spirit. So this could possibly mean Jiraiya is dead and in the afterlife, right? Or this could just even be creative limits of the director, we just don't know, but it is something to bring up to argue a case on why these theories are not true. But I'd like to think, to be honest, I want to be fair, I want Jiraiya to be linked with Kashin Koji. So I'm going to let Kryptonian Saiyan take over for a moment.
Looking at a lot of you guys' comments at what you said, a lot of people are saying that Jiraiya could possibly be alive because Nagato used the Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, but this can be debunked because killed on that day, going back several days is next to impossible. Before we get out of here, I just want to thank Anime Balls Deep for not only bringing me onto the channel, but also for the support that was shown when I lost all my old videos. With that being said, I do have a channel that is solely dedicated to Naruto content, and you can find that by typing in Kryptonian Saiyan, or depending on when you're watching the video, the channel name will have been changed to Naruto Explained. There, you will find Boruto discussions, Naruto lore videos, and you will find Naruto what ifs. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day.